These 5 players walk into the biggest Rainbow Six tournament without a jersey, but rather regular all-black t-shirts because they were never signed to an organization. It goes back to when they won a $750,000 trophy, and at the time, they were signed under the org Beast Coast. This big accomplishment was followed by a partnership with Cloud9, where things started to take a turn, but in the opposite direction. They fell short on qualifying for the esports World Cup, as well as not being able to make it into the Montreal Major. This major winning team just couldn't find a way to get their foot through the door again, and on December 5th, M80 acquired Cloud9 Beast Coast by only bringing on 2 members of the roster, them being Gunner and Diffuser. The only 3 members left, Gaveni, Spirits, and Hot and Cold, make the decision to stick together moving forward. Well, they need 2 players to fill the gap Gunner and Diffuser left, and no better way to do so than picking up players who have solidified their playstyle. Welcome, Adam and Dream. The full team is assembled, yet they still have no organization to represent despite the effort attempting to gain one. This is where the name Unwanted comes into fruition, because they were literally unwanted by orgs. The Six Invitational was here, and we are entering their first match in the playoffs against W7M, the team fresh off a win at the Montreal Major. The first map on Clubhouse goes to Unwanted, and moving on to map 2, it is W7M's pick of Chalet. This is a big game. If Unwanted secure their first win in the upper bracket against a top team proven to be one of the best, they showed the whole world they are here to beat all the odds against them. Before we get into the video, if you struggle with high ping when playing Siege and never had a way to solve it, let me introduce you to Gear Up Booster. It's an app that stabilizes your connection by getting rid of any spikes and reduces ping, all with the click of a few buttons. You can also connect to servers far away from you with low latency. Just imagine playing on Europe servers with no spikes and low latency while you're all the way across the world in America. Take a look at this. When I'm not using Gear Up Booster, my ping is sitting at a solid 69, which is not too bad. But right when I turn it on, my ping goes down by 23 milliseconds. Not only that, there is a new feature added recently that keeps packet loss at its lowest point. To put it in simple terms on how this works, sometimes your internet connection goes through long and busy networks, and Gear Up Booster prevents that from happening by finding the shortest path to the server. Download Gear Up Booster with the link in the description. You can also use my code SHRUNO to get an extended free trial. Once you're on the interface, find the game you want to use it on and go to the top here to select your region. We're going to go with US East. After a few seconds, it will immediately go into effect and you can enjoy tapping heads with no problems. If you're wondering if this is safe, it definitely is. You can use it in-game and Ubisoft will not have a problem with it. Go try it out with the link in the description below and make sure to use code SHRUNO to get that extended free trial. W7M start off in the basement defending Wine and Snowmobile. They go for an extension across all 3 floors while shooting open the master and library hatch. This gives another way of backing off the 3rd floor whenever they need to. The main reason they are set up across all 3 floors is because they are looking to lock down 2 important areas of the map, which is dining room and west main stairs. This hatch over in dining also gets popped open, and doing so prepares W7M with a really good counter to a backside attack by Unwanted. The angles from this hatch sees the boiler breach, the wine door, and also any play in its general area that could potentially happen if Unwanted create the space for it. This also provides the roamers with a safe way to fall to the bomb site when needed. They've got Vopes on Ella and Lobon on Elysian. These are 2 very strong trap operators and they are crucial for this triple floor hold. Heavily setting up traps around the west main and trophy windows will alert the roamers if somebody were to jump in to catch them off guard. Now, back in the bomb site, they've got Dash on Smoke and Dots on Echo. When 3 players are already playing far away from the site, that leaves the site players open to a potential direct take by Unwanted. So the Smoke and Echo pick are great for stalling and buying time for the rest of the team elsewhere. Unwanted start to move in for their attack. To open it up, Dream silently moves his Twitch drone in the site and is able to take out a bulletproof camera, then leaves his drone in a spot that will definitely become essential later in the round. He moves over to his second drone and zaps a fireplace cam and an Ella mine placed on the main double door. And with W7M's roam players relying on these traps to cover their backs, this potentially opens up a small gap in their defense. On top of that, Dream also zaps an Echo drone. That's pretty unlucky for Dots, I'm not gonna lie. Unwanted are setting up for a backside attack. Hot and Cold sends his drone through the hall and finds it completely clear, so that makes the first point of map control secured. Now they need garage control, but the doorway into garage has an open hatch right above it. But Hot and Cold came prepared and has a pre-placed drone inside of Trophy and sees nobody on the defense is covering that hatch. This gives Spirits free passes through the door and gains a second point of map control. Now, Adam is posted outside of the west main window on Deimos. The plan here for Unwanted is to Deimos-shack Volps, who was on the west main stairs, and cut him off from the window. And in coordination, Spirits will go rushing down the long hall to the west main stairs with the sole purpose of creating a pinch on Volps. While this is happening, Hanko will have his gun up, covering Spirits from the trench door. Now they've got everything set up and ready to go, so they call to move in.
The Ella gets targeted by Deimos, but Volps is on the west main stairs. If anything, he's going to try and bait for Loban. I saw some pre-fires though. Maybe they're aware. This could be something here for Dash. Good trade onto Spirits, but straight into side for Gavin.
Okay, so a lot just happened. There was a slight off timing by Dash to catch Spirits full sprinting down the long hall. So Spirits was able to get that pinch on Volps, but Dash immediately swings out to trade that kill. But there's more to why he did swing to get that trade. While Unwanted were setting up for this play, Gavin went and hard breached the boiler wall that leads into Wine, which is right behind where Dash is positioned on the door. Well, remember W7M leaving the dining hatch open? At this point, Dodas is posted on that hatch with his gun up, holding Dash's back that is exposed to the breach walk-in. This ensures Dash's swing to get a trade is perfectly fine to do until Dodas leaves the hatch angle and wanders off somewhere else. That makes Dash's back no longer covered, and without him knowing, he swings out to trade Volps, but is immediately traded again by Gavin, who pushes through the boiler breach. Gavin continues to make space off that pick, but Dot shuts that down very quickly from storage. Now, remember earlier in the round, Dream took out the fireplace cam and an Ella mine at the main double door? Well, he definitely puts that gap to great use. While all the noise is being made by gunfights and trades happening in the basement, Dream quickly made his way through fireplace, then straight down the snow stairs without anyone from W7M noticing this happening. So when Gavin makes space to get stopped by Dots, Dream is immediately there to trade that pick.
This could be something here for Dash. Good trade onto Spirits, but straight into side for Gavin. Thanks to that Twitch drone deep in the objective, there's info for Unwanted. He bites off a little bit more than he can chew and he goes down, but Dreams is there.
Adam continues to hold the room cut off at the west main window, and as Loban attempts to head back to the site to support Dodes, Adam catches Loban completely off guard, downs him, and makes the round a 3v1. Hanko begins to plant the diffuser. Let's see what Dodes can do.
Plant is going down. Suppressive fire from Dream. Gav finished off, but Dream is still in perfect position. Adam coming around for the flank, hot and cold, finished off. He needs to isolate these fights, but Adam's got him. Unreal from Unwanted.
Dodes does take out Hot and Cold, but there's way too many threats to worry about, and Adam from the flank takes out Dodes to secure the round for Unwanted. Moving along, Unwanted close the series out, claiming their first win in the upper bracket. That puts them in their next match against BDS, where after a few games, Unwanted go down and take their first loss.
With no gas to work with, Adam has to hold firm, but League of Facts got him dead to rights! Revenge is best served hot!
That is a tough one, but everything is fine as this is only the beginning of their lower bracket run. CAG Osaka is their next opponent, and we're going to dive into the beautiful defense Unwanted prepared for this tournament. Now moving over to Nighthaven Labs, Unwanted start off with holding the top floor site, command, and server. Everything begins over in IT. This main wall here is super important when both attacking and defending. If attackers get this wall open as well as control of this room, the angles on the top garage and into the site itself applies a lot of pressure on the defense. So the way Unwanted goes about handling this is by putting a mirror window right in the middle of the two reinforcements. But not only that, also shooting it open. If we take a look at Unwanted's lineup, they've got 3 C4s in total on the board, and instead of just leaving the mirror closed, shooting it open sets up those C4s to stop any player stepping close enough to the wall. To further enable this play, Dream brings along Cade and Spears has Tubarao. This combo is amazing for keeping the IT wall closed for as long as possible. It's actually pretty simple. When an EMP is thrown, the claw gets disabled, Tubarao then puts down a canister on the opposite side of the claw that'll freeze everything on the wall. Following that, Cade will grab the claw and place it again to maintain electricity across the entire wall. Let's keep all of that in mind as CAG begins their attack. Chibisu, Anaton, and Black Ray are posted outside of IT looking to get that wall open. Their lineup consists of EMPs with Thatcher, Hardbreach on the Ace, but Anaton being on Maverick is completely countered by the mirror window Unwanted has set up. His job of getting close to the wall to get rid of any K claws is no longer possible, as he is at all times vulnerable to a C4 from the open mirror. But they've got something else for that, and it's Sereneko on Buck who entered below into storage, and right above him is exactly where the IT wall is. From this spot, he has a much better way of getting rid of any Tubarao canisters or K-claws by bucking below and simply shooting them. But this entire play is like an open book to Unwanted, because all the way back in the operator select screen, Unwanted cooked something up and came prepared for this exact play. Hot and Cold locked in post this round, and he is set up in the basement right under Sarah Neko that entered into storage. When CAG attempts to get the IT wall open, Hot and Cold has absolutely nothing stopping him from securing the opening pick.
This Maverick is great, but the counter to Maverick in this lineup is the mirror, because that external IT wall has a mirror window on it, and if it gets opened up, which it now has been, now that Maverick is going to be very vulnerable to C4s toss through that mirror window, which if there are 4 on the lineup for Unwanted.
So now they're gonna EMP Selma it, and if there's gonna be a 2 Bravo response, they're gonna bug below, but then they're gonna counter the bug below with C4 below. And it's a triple counter shot from both teams.
Oh my god.
That's insane.
That's so beautiful. They're layers.
CAG rotate and get the outside connector wall open, then also move in to open the server wall. But when doing so, a mistake was made by only creating lines of sight in the server and not making the holes good enough for them to walk through. This funnels CAG into the electrical choke point, which from here will give them a slight disadvantage in the gunfights they take. So Sharip and Blackray are looking to split the attack into multiple angles by rotating over to IT as Shibisu and Anaton pushes from connector and electrical. But that doesn't stop Unwanted from being prepared and ready for CAG to swing right into their fate.
This is awkward because they can't actually enter through this breach. It's just lines of sight. And this is the key position though from Adam, as Gav does find Blackray.
Because CAG never show presence over in warehouse, Gavin is able to comfortably hold down rafters, where he finds Blackray crouching up to the IT breach and takes him out. This is a solid spot for Unwanted. Everyone is posted in great positions and they are ready for anything coming their way.
Shibisu looking to get aggressive here from Electrical. He needs to find a little bit of an impact. Unwanted holding back their positions. Adam looking hot on his shot. Anaton will trade one. Not enough as of yet, and still cannot walk through that breach. Sharip in IT, spotted and vulnerable as that dread mine close to his position. This C4, I think, threatened, but not much for Anaton as he does find another pick.
Although Blackray wasn't able to make it into IT, Sharip definitely was, even with a bulletproof camera looking directly at him. He pushes all the way up to the server door where he then downs Adam, but Dream is quick as hell on his feet and trades that kill immediately. All the while, back at the server breach, CAG may not be able to walk through the breach, but they can still send bullets at anyone on the other side. Anaton does just that and wins the gunfight with Gavin, and he is now left in a 1v2.
He's left all alone in a 1 versus 2. Adam on the floor and finished. This plant surely can't work out. Should be an angle here for Hot and Cold. No, apparently not, but he knows exactly where Anaton is. As soon as the plant is confirmed, his head pops up.
Oh my god.
4 rounds straight for Unwanted.
Following this win, Unwanted go on to knock CAG out of the tournament.
And the Blitz poises, makes his way towards menacingly on the site. Shibisu's found a kill. Anaton trying to get aggressive. The plant begins to go down. It all collapses in a second.
Unwanted are looking really solid so far, and we'll see even more from them in their next match against Oxygen Esports. OXG are defending CO and meeting room on the top floor. Unwanted begin their attack looking to do an admin overtake, and their way of doing so is getting on each and every one of the admin rappels. All the angles from the window rappels are very threatening to any player on OXG extended to this side of the map. But this round OXG give up admin pretty quick, only shooting a few drones and letting Unwanted take complete control, but this is done for a reason. They brought along Goyo and Smoke, 2 operators that'll be used for stalling out time and contesting space in and outside of the bomb site with both fire and gas. OXG begins to stall out that time in a minute and 25 when the first Goyo at the top of the Visa stairs gets popped. And just a few seconds later, yet another one gets popped. These Goyos are simply delaying Unwanted from making any space outside of the admin control they already have. Well, all of Unwanted can't just push through one side of the map into Goyos and Smokes, so Adam rotates over the top yellow, but Spears on Blackbeard rotates to the CO window. Blackbeard, being arguably the best shield op in the game, can breach through barricades and often catch people by surprise. And from this position, Spears would do exactly that. He's looking to breach the CO window, attempting to distract anyone on OXG inside or around CO. At the same time he does that, Adam will push through top yellow to capitalize on the space Spears is making. All the while, the rest of Unwanted move in from admin to surround OXG from all angles.
They're actually rotating here. Spirits is solo going over towards admin. Diffuse Kid is still CEO. Spirits is going to rappel in through the CEO window. Diffuse Kid's admin. And he's going to be a surprise play late into this push as he tries to just distract everybody into thinking that there's going to be a heavy pressure CEO, but it's just him.
There's the swing in. Spirits, just way too much to account for. Yaga gets him, but 2 very swift kills to answer back. Unwanted's lead stays good. It's a little bit closer as Gomez with 1 pick. And Unwanted, all the while, got that diffuser down, Jesse. Catches Oxygen by surprise. Gavin on the ground. Looks like he's just having the most leisurely game of his life.
That was beautiful. Spirits breaches the barricade but runs right into a Goyo and gets taken out. But it's the perfect bait because with all of the noise happening, Adam gets into closet and is able to quickly trade Spirits, but does continue forward and gets stopped by Gomez, which is completely fine as these fights are just a distraction for Hot and Cold to get the diffuser down. And the only thing left is for Unwanted to set up amazing crossfires to guarantee the round win. Unwanted continued forward, claiming this series against OXG as well as their next against Raza Company, stamping their run in this tournament so far in Siege history, being they are the only team left out of North America in the top 4. They move on to their next match against FaZe Clan, but it's also their final match they would have, as FaZe looks victory in the eyes and sends Unwanted home.
Coming down to the wire, only 10 seconds left and diffuser will need to be retrieved. Spirits had dropped it when he fell. Now it's Hot in the drop. 2 remain for Unwanted. FaZe Clan have things working. A triple for Dream, but Vidaking will stop them.
If you enjoyed this, consider watching this next one where I break down possibly the biggest upset that occurred at the Six Invitational.